Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is part 4 of this video series. And if you haven't watched the first 3, you're going to be a little lost, so maybe you can back up and watch those. As promised, I said I would clean up this airplane propeller. Now, I've changed my nudge distance to 1 inch now, so it won't be so far out of the picture. And the propeller is really messed up. What I would do first is take the Smart Fill tool and fill it in, and then move it over. And then left click, right click, and go ahead and make it a hairline. And the reason I did that is sometimes it'll be a little bit less, sorry about that, be a little bit less mess. And it is. This has a squiggle line and this is gone. It's just a little bit cleaner. So now you can just start cleaning up this propeller. And we don't need those nodes right there, so I'm going to just select them and get rid of them. As long as we're still keeping the shape of the propeller, we're okay. You know, it's really so small, minute, that it doesn't really matter. Now, there's a couple ways you could do this. Is you could fix all those, in which I probably will for the video, but you could also just go through there and make one of them correct. We can't do that one. Let me back up here. And a lot of times it'll be a lot easier. See, this is like a double or a messed up line. Even more. We can maybe try to get rid of that node. That looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and clean them all up. Hopefully it'll work. You can just kind of see what I'm doing. Whoops, can't do that one. It's always better to zoom in and maybe do half of them at a time. I'm just using this shape tool and getting rid of the, so this is like a twisted node. It's so close together that it's twisted together. So that looks pretty good. Now let's get rid of just these two. Try to get rid of one of these. And then you could always, and you got to remember it's, you know, it's going to be yours afterwards. It doesn't have to be spot on perfect. We're getting pretty close. Now this one's got a little bit more problems. But anyway, that's a lot cleaner. Looks more like a propeller. Now these are nodes that are stacked on top of one another. There's so many right there, they're just stacked up. We can't get rid of them all, but maybe we can get rid of one of them. See what happens, get rid of that one. We're trying to just kind of make a more circular shape for the airplane blade. And that's pretty good. And as always, what I do is take the Smart Fill tool and fill it in. It's going to get rid of some of those roughness. Okay, I made a mistake there. I moved it by hand. I need to move it with the nudge distance. We're going to go ahead and change that back to hairline. And the reason I want to be able to put it right back where it was on the airplane. And it already looks better. It's a little bit off on some of these parts, but as long as like this is showing good here, that's showing good. You want the propeller kind of showing. So if we fill it in with black, we'll just kind of look at it. And I don't like that. And then we would left click and take away the lines. And I actually have my outline set. So that's what's happening. Let's move it back, down, just delete that. Grab our propeller again and fill it in with black and get rid of the lines. And now move it back up. And that's not going to show up, especially on a Yeti type cup. They're just going to be too close. So there's a lot of things you could do. Let's try left click, right click, and let's do this. I'm just doing this by the seat of my pants. Let's go up to Effects, Contour, contour to the inside. Let's just try 0.05. Let's try that. That's way too much. I forgot how little this thing is. 0.005. That's a lot better. Break contour apart, grabbing the center one and moving it out of the way. Now we can get rid of these, but I don't want to just move them out of the way, so I'm going to nudge them out of the way in case I need them back. Let's go and fill that in with black and have no outline and move it up. And now that looks a lot better. You've got a lot more white around the airplane propeller itself, and we just need to go in there and clean some of these other parts up. I don't want to make another video and bore you with that, so we'll do that at this time. Now, this is kind of interesting here, but let's do this one. This one has two parts to it. Okay? There's two separate colors, so let's hold down the shift key and grab both of them. Go up and put no fill. I'm going to work with a red outline, and I want a hairline. I'm actually using this gentleman's file, so it's messing me up a little bit. And if you'll erase this center line, it'll be a big help in the long run, because of the fact that now we can smart fill that and have that shape. Now let's cursor down, get rid of this line. Whoop. Just delete it. We don't need it anymore. I'm not sure I'm on it. Back up here. We want to get rid of this hairline. See, there are like two sets of hairlines there. So we don't need those hairlines. They're going to cause us problems. Now we can move this back, and it's going to be a lot easier to work with now that it's just one section. We've got a lot of nodes right there we don't need. If we didn't have this in one part, it would be a lot more difficult. Now you can take this node and give our airplane propeller a little bit more room, if you can understand what I'm doing. So we've got a lot more room on our propeller here than we had before. So we're good to go. This is all one piece. So we could just do this and then move this node and move it down. Now there's a red hairline behind that. We could just click on it. And hairlines aren't going to really hurt you when you're just engraving. I cursored that out of the way. I'm going to click on that hairline and just delete it. See, there's multiple hairlines there. So now we can go get our piece back and put it right back. Now in this particular case, you need to go back to the original one and see what it looks like. But now that it's one piece, you could take your shape tool and you could select those two nodes and you could bring it a little bit closer to that airplane propeller. And like right in here, there's a little white spot. That's because there's probably more than one piece there. See, that's part of the propeller. See, there's multiple pieces in here, but you could select those nodes and just bring them down, and then we're seeing more white of the airplane propeller. And it really bothers me that there's so much hairlines back in there. The only way to do stuff is to move it out of the way, click on that hairline. Let's move that out of the way. Let's just click on that hairline and delete it. You don't need the hairlines anymore. Now we can take and I hope this isn't too confusing. Now we can take that back and see what I'm talking about. Now that we got our windows in there, we got our propellers in there that are kind of showing. We still need to do the other, parts of the propeller and clean up some more stuff. But with the shape tool, you can kind of see what you're doing if it's all one piece. If you got multiple pieces in there, you're going to have a lot more problems. And I'm going way further than I wanted to with this video, and I hope I don't get into trouble. See, there's a multiple piece compared to this piece. Those two pieces actually could be joined like we did the other one. But I'm not going to go there on this video. I think I've taken enough time to do that. But get rid of this red hairline. And that looks a little bit better. But anyway, you know, like at the bottom of the tire could be cleaned up. You know, just common, you know, just delete a couple of nodes and make it a little rounder. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.